Hi, I'm Jen Abel, and today we're going to be discussing yoga for back pain. Just because you have back pain doesn't necessarily mean there is something wrong exactly with your back, unless there is something you can put your finger on, incidental-wise, accident, fall, etc. The hips, the legs, the feet, the shoulders, the way that we stand, the things that we do every day, the way that we drive are going to affect the back. So no wonder it's the reason and the way that we hear from our body that there's something going on. So the first pose we're going to go over is child's pose. Child's pose can be either active or a resting pose, and it is one of the most non-confrontational poses in your practice. To start in going into child's pose, you want to come onto your mat. You're going to bring your toes together and separate your knees. Remember, in any yoga practice or in your pose, discomfort is okay, but pain is not. Pain is an indication that you need to back out of wherever you are a little bit. From here, take your knees to your own degree, fingertips out, lead with the heart, walk your fingertips as far forward as you comfortably can, and melt the heart to the mat. Next, we're going to do a standing forward fold. This is going to turn the torso upside down, which is the opposite way that most of us spend our day. It will stretch the hamstrings, open the hips, as well as stretch and lengthen the vertebrae. You first want to start with your feet together, heels slightly separated, which releases and opens the lower back. Toes in, reach your arms up to lengthen the spine first, lead with the heart as you fold over to your own degree. You can stay right where you are or bend your knees enough so that the chest rests onto your thighs and cup your opposite elbows in a ragdoll variation and let the head hang heavy. Now we're going to go over downward facing dog. It can either be a resting or an active pose as well. To come into downward facing dog, you want to come onto your knees first, then come into an all-four tabletop position and make sure that your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders and that your knees are directly underneath your hips. That's going to set you up with the proper alignment and spacing that you need. Roll the inner elbows forward, tuck your toes under, and straighten out your legs, pouring your chest towards your shins, and just move the heels down to the earth to your own degree. Now we're going to go over upward facing dog. Again, we're going to start on the ground, come into an all-four tabletop position first, and then just walk your feet back and just come onto your chest, however you would like to get there. Move your hands back slightly so that they're right by your lower rib cage. Press the ground away from you, keeping your elbows in and the tops of the feet to the mat. Shins, thighs are up, and pull the shoulders away from your ears and stretch through the front line, keeping the spine in one solid line of energy. Now we're going to go over camel pose. Camel pose has many different levels of intensity. One thing you want to make sure is that your strength is able to sustain the flexibility. So we're going to go through this step by step. Start on your knees. Take your knees to the width of your hips. To begin with, take your hands to your back, preferably with the fingertips touching, the pinky fingers touching, and the thumbs at your hips. Pull the shoulder blades together. Those are going to be like your brakes. Try to pull elbows together and lift up through the spine first, and allow the hands to use as brakes as well as you lean the chest back. Yeah. Once you get to a place that you're able to, if you would like to, you can take the hands and reach for your heels and lift the chest and the heart up. So now we're going to go over pigeon pose. You can start from the ground. I prefer to start from downward facing dog. Come into your downward facing dog. Take your right leg up, whichever leg you're going for. Swing it through and bring your shin down to the mat. Now, your calf or your shin is actually your own personal intensity lever. The more you have it hugged in, the less intense the posture will be. The more you have it parallel to the front edge of the mat, the more intense it will be. If this hip is really popped up, please use a prop. If you don't have a block, roll up a towel. Put it right underneath the hip. You're going to take your chest, lead with the heart, and begin to melt forward. So next we're going to do locust pose. The reason we're putting this one in here for back pain is because in order to sustain the back, to keep it clear of pain, we need to always strengthen the muscles around it. This is a wonderful pose to strengthen those muscles all the way from the bottom of your head all the way down to the tailbone. So we're going to come onto our bellies, carefully, however you'd like to, elbows in. Untuck your toes, and then reach the hands out with the palms facing down. Again, pull the shoulder blades together, Lift the shoulders up, lift the heart up, lift the feet up, lift the hands up. Our last and final pose today is going to be a supine twist. It's a pose that is generally taken before your final rest. From here, you will come onto your back. Start with the right side, hug the right knee in towards the right shoulder. Take your left hand outside of your right knee, right palm flat, and begin to rotate towards the left, bringing your right ear as close to the mat as you can. Same for the other side. Come back up, hug the right knee in, let it fall down to meet your left foot. Left knee into the left shoulder, right hand grabs the outside of the left knee, left hand comes down to the mat, pull over towards the right, and pull the left ear towards the mat. Today we're going to end practice with our final rest, also known as Savasana pose, for thanking our body for being here and being able to aid and help to heal ourselves. To come into Savasana, there's no right or wrong way to get there. We come down onto the mat. You want to take your feet out in front of you, hip width or a little bit more, toes fall away from the center line, one vertebrae at a time, roll down onto your back, shoulder blades come down, palms up and open. See if you can take your shoulder blades a little bit underneath you so you have an elevation of the heart. Close your eyes and relax.